welcome back to Rating the List, where we review, discuss, and reimagine popular movie lists objectively. We're your hosts, I'm Jerry.
And I'm Brad, and on this episode we'll be exploring number 26 from Sports Illustrated's The 50 Greatest Sports Movies of All Time.
All right, number 26 is The Bad News Bears, released in 1976, directed by Michael Ritchie, starring Walter Matthau and Tatum O'Neal.
Surly alcoholic ex-minor leaguer Morris Buttermaker is hired to manage the Bears, a little league team of disheveled misfits with little talent for the game. He recruits the daughter of an ex-girlfriend and a hoodlum who happens to be the best player in the area, and they take a run at the league championship.
This movie is really funny.
Yeah, this movie is a classic. I mean, there's one unfortunate thing that really takes you out of it that I hadn't seen this movie in a while, and it really threw me for a loop. I was like, I can't believe he just said that.
Oh, yeah. There was a couple of things in there that I'm like...
Well, that one especially, but...
Yeah.
I mean, the other stuff is just kind of a product of the time a little bit.
Yeah.
But that one wasn't cool.
Yeah.
Then either.
It's a good story. Walter Matthau plays the alcoholic, washed-up coach of this little league team, and his name's Buttermaker.
Yeah, Morris Buttermaker.
So Buttermaker and Amanda, Tatum O'Neal's character, had this past relationship where he was basically like her stepdad.
Yeah.
And they have a really interesting relationship. Like, she's pissed at him because he kind of just left.
Yeah, well, I think she's more pissed at him because, it seems like her mom is just kind of goes from guy to guy.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like I got the impression maybe her dad has never been in the picture. So this has like been the only father figure she's ever had. And then all of a sudden he's not in her life anymore.
Yeah, so she was pretty angry about that. But she's a good baseball player.
Yeah, she's a really good pitcher.
Really good pitcher. So he convinces her to play. And so their relationship back and forth is interesting and kind of sweet at times.
She's an interesting actress, especially at that time in her life, because most of the roles that she had, she was playing against older men. And she has these kinds of, like, she's in Paper... I mean, I think, did she win the Academy Award for Paper Moon?
She might have, yeah.
So she's in Paper Moon with her real father,
Ryan O'Neal.
And that movie's great. And their chemistry, they're father and daughter, so they have this, already kind of ingrained kind of on-screen chemistry, but she's just kind of preternaturally mature.
Honestly, I think a lot of young actors that were in the 70s were that way.
Yeah, like Jodie Foster.
Like Jodie Foster. There's Christy McNichol.
Yeah.
Remember Christy McNichol? And somebody else, I can't remember. But they seemed very mature beyond their age.
Yeah, and she's like 12, but she's like, she's really got... the thing that she does really, really well is she plays the facade of a hard ass, but she's still just a kid at heart. She's still just a little girl looking for someone to care about her.
Yeah.
And she wants nothing more than for Buttermaker to just show her some kind of affection. And, the only way that she thinks that she's ever going to be able to do this is to get on the mound and, win baseball games for him.
Yeah.
So that whole interplay is really interesting.
The kids are hilarious.
Yeah.
Like,
a lot of these characters are like so real life to me from like my days playing Little League. There were all of these kids are very, very realistic. Like Little League baseball is really kind of interesting because you get some really good players, and you get some people that are really there for the fun of it, and they're okay. And then you just get kids that just get thrown into it because their parents like are kind of forcing them to do it, and they don't.
Yeah.
They don't know what they're doing. And like if you're like really, like I was super competitive, so I was basically a Tanner like kid. I had that kind of fiery
Yeah.
mentality about me, and the kids that just didn't want to be there, I just had no patience for them at all. I used to just despise having
Well,
to
I
go with
feel
them.
like with this movie, all the kids really want to be there. All the kids on this team really want to be there. They're not very good.
Yeah, I think more than anything, they want to be part of something. Like, they're all kind of the outcasts
Yeah.
a little bit. That I think if you put them into, outside of maybe Tanner just wants to play baseball, but a lot of these kids, they just really want to be a part of something. They want to have some kind of community, and this is one of those opportunities. Playing youth sports is one of those opportunities when you're a kid to do that, and I think that's what a lot of these kids are looking for. And just like some of the stuff that goes on is so typical of little league stuff. It's really, really funny.
So the 70s were a strange time. Yeah, so there's this whole scene at the end where they win the championships. They won the championship, right?
No, they lost.
They lost, but they still felt good about it, right?
And they lost the right way instead of winning the wrong way.
Correct. And so Walter Matthau, Buttermaker, hands them all a beer.
Yeah, he's passing out beers to
He's passing out big beer. And the kids are yay! Some are drinking it, some are just going like this,
and
whatever.
then the parents are there, and
and then the parents come up and they're all holding beers in their hand. Nobody's tripping. Nobody's tripping out that these kids have beers in their hand. It's whatever, and I feel like that's kind of how the 70s were.
Yeah, I'm thinking they'd probably be replaced with cuties or something like that now.
Capri Suns,
Capri Suns or apple wedges.
Yeah.
Something. Pretty sure they wouldn't be throwing back buds.
Probably not getting beer. I don't think so.
So 70s were cool.
Yeah. And then they were Buttermaker was responsible to go out to get them a sponsor. So the sponsor they got was Chico's Bail Bonds.
That is one of the all-time...
It's so funny.
That is one of the all-time greatest things in movie history, is that this Little League team is sponsored by Chico's Bail Bonds.
Yeah.
It's that is just beyond classic. I think, I'm trying to think of the sponsors that we had for my teams. But I mean, they were restaurants and stuff like that, pretty normal stuff.
Typical, yeah.
Yeah, normal small businesses in the community. No one was Chico's Bail Bonds.
No. The music, the score of this movie.
It's all classical music.
It's all from the play Carmen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's perfect. It's just mayhem and chaos, all wrapped into one song.
You're juxtaposing this. Finny? Shh. You're juxtaposing this, really beautiful classical music with the backdrop of these goofy ass kids who can't feel the ground ball or catch a pop fly.
Yeah.
And, Buttermaker is just he's just there for a paycheck.
Yeah.
He's just
he's not even paying attention at first. It really kind of reminded me of A League of Their Own a little bit.
Yeah.
Right?
I think I would not be surprised that there was some inspiration for the Jimmy Dugan character from Buttermaker in a lot of ways.
Yeah, because he's basically the same guy.
In a lot of ways he is.
Yeah.
Except for he was a successful professional.
Yes.
He wasn't a washed up minor leaguer, and he wasn't didn't have a pool cleaning business. I mean, he was this was, what he did.
The bad thing is that it doesn't age as well as I was hoping it would age, but it...
Yeah, there's a really unfortunate scene where Tanner, who is one of the kids, uses the N-word.
Yeah.
I'm guys, there was never a time when this was cool.
Yeah.
And it certainly wasn't cool to have some, I mean, the kid actor was probably about 11 or 12 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, they were all age appropriate for the most part. I think what's his name? The guy who plays Kelly Leak. What's his name?
We did looked it up the other day.
The guy from Watchmen.
He was in Watchmen.
He was in Breaking Away. I can't think of it.
It's 3 names.
Yes, Jackie Earl Haley. Look at me. I think he's substantially older. He's probably like closer to like 16 or 17 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, it's just like all the kids are like age appropriate. You can't have a kid that's 12 years old throwing out the N-word.
I think they thought those kind of things coming from a young voice would be funny.
I guess maybe.
But it's really not.
Especially since he's got, a black kid on the team.
Yeah, it's not funny. And
so that kind of threw me off. There's a little bit of sexism in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
But,
yeah.
But,
you also have a bunch of 12-year-olds hitting on, like, 20-year-old women.
That is funny. when Kelly Leak is hitting on that mom, that is pretty funny.
That was great. But, yeah, I mean, it's a really, really entertaining movie. It's really funny. Yes. Is it dated in a lot of ways? Yes. So you got to make sure, it's not a kid's movie.
No.
Don't mistake it as, there's kids in it, so it's a kid's movie. It is not a kid's movie.
They did remake this about 20 to 25 years ago.
With Billy Bob Thornton.
It's actually pretty good. I
saw it.
It's pretty good. So some of that, Richard Linklater directed the remake.
He wants to get up here so bad.
He takes out a little bit of that stuff. He kind of keeps the spirit of Buttermaker without quite going into some of the more unfortunate stuff that dates the original movie. There are also 2 sequels to the original movie, which aren't nearly as good. Although the one that takes place in the Astrodome is pretty hilarious. The sequence when they're in the Astrodome is pretty funny.
Paul, what are you trying to do, honey? Sorry. He wanted to be up here.
Yeah, so we got our one of our other co-hosts up here now. But it's just kind of fun to see. There's a lot of it that's very real to life with Little League, both the parents and the kids themselves.
Yeah.
Little League was kind of an interesting time. I would really love to like go back and be like a fly on the wall as an adult watching like Little League stuff.
Yeah.
Just for like the people watch to see what like all the adults were doing.
Yeah. Going, oh God.
Yeah. Or just the other stuff. But this is a fun movie.
It is fun.
Just go into it knowing there's a few things that are a little bit dated and might be a little bit offensive. It's
actually quite offensive.
Some of it's supposed to be offensive.
Yeah.
I mean, it's deliberately offensive, but I mean, there's some stuff that's played for laughs that probably shouldn't be played for laughs.
Yeah.
I gave this one a 71. Jerry gave it a 65, so the list score is 68.
All right. Let us know. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that have fond memories of Bad News Bears.
What's your score?
He's like, I don't know.
Oh, my bad.
So please comment in the chat or whatever it is, the episode. Yeah, comment in the episode. If you'd like to email us directly, please do so at readingthelist@gmail.com. But I guess that's it for now. I'm Jerry.
I'm Brad. I'm Poe.
And we're Rating the List. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Say bye.